What's up, hobby friends? My name is Casey and welcome to another miniature rescue. Today we have a handful of Ork Lootas in desperate need of attention. Wake up. Wow. Did you know it's Orktober? Oh yeah. I've been waiting for that all year. You know, we gotta do something small. All right. Okay. That's a good idea. All right. Well, we'll okay. Good. Let's start. Yeah, let's start with this. I got this. I purchased this unit of 5 Ork Lootas from eBay for just under 20 bucks. This was posted as a job lot, which usually means there will be some missing pieces or broken models that need to be fixed. Let's take a quick look at eBay and see where these models sit right now, and if I got a good deal or completely shot myself in the foot for buying these. Just going through the listings today, I noticed that there are quite a few listings right now. That's great for buyers because the market is saturated and the price should go down. As far as how well I scored, I did alright. Just under 20 bucks for 5 is okay, but for a job lot, I shouldn't have paid more than probably $15 for something like this. And the biggest reason for it is because on eBay, you can buy a brand new box for $28. New unsprue, shrink wrapped and all. These really aren't that hard to build, and I imagine it will take some time to get these ones playable, and for the price, you might as well buy them new. My eBay market suggestion, if you are looking to pick up some heavy gunning orcs, is to buy a pretty nice looking set of 5 of these for no more than 15 bucks used. Otherwise, just get the kit new. Alright, so here we are with these pretty nasty looking models. There are a few steps we need to take to get these models playable on the table. Step 1. Assess the damage and begin to clean. For the most part, they look like they are in okay condition. For being a job lot, these could definitely be a lot worse, and we could be missing more pieces. As it stands, there will need to be some reassembly as well as some orky ingenuity to come up with the extra weapon parts for at least one of our friends. The first thing I like to do is drop the models into a bath of LA's Totally Awesome in a sonic jewelry cleaner. This step isn't really necessary, but it does speed up the process. Otherwise, to strip a model down, just let it soak for a few days in cleaner and then brush them off with a toothbrush. The advantage of the sonic cleaner is that we can come in with a toothbrush after about 20 minutes, which is a big time save. I give the minis a good scrub and separate out the parts. Some of these will still need a little more work to get the tougher bits of paint off, but not much. Otherwise, it's time to scrape some mold lines and begin reassembly. This particular part of the build, or any build for that matter, can go off the rails pretty fast. I am missing parts, so there are a few options that we can take. The first is usually the quickest and easiest, and that would be to use parts and pieces from other model kits to make something fun out of this broken model. Or we can use a 3D printer to print out parts that actually make this guy pretty much what he was meant to be. And don't get me wrong, I like kit bashing models and using other model kits to build new ones. It's a very orc thing to do, but when I find the perfect parts to print out online, I can't ignore the opportunity to get that 3D printer out and make something come back to life as it was pretty much intended. Now that the models have the appropriate parts and pieces attached, it's time to get them ready to paint. I'm going to prime these models using StynoRes Green Primer, and then we can sit down and have some real fun. My original plan for this video was to pretty much rescue these models and give them a quick paint job. After all, I do have a kind of specific style that I like to paint orcs in, and that really lends itself to being able to finish a squad like this in a relatively short amount of time. But then I had this idea. What if I got my friends to paint these models for me? Yeah, none of the work and all the credit. Yeah, no, not really. I wanted to test out a theory. There are so many ways to paint orcs. You can go grimdark or extremely bright. Orange pants, brown pants, whatever you want. And in my opinion, every option is good. Orcs are so unique that they can represent almost anyone, and everyone has a unique way of painting them. Personally, I like more of a blue-collar working man's orc. Denim jumpsuit, leather boots, and a tattered shirt. A grand helping of grime and grease, and you have an orc. When I see that, I think to myself, yeah, that's an orc right there. Yeah. Okay, so sure, everyone paints orcs differently, whatever. Well, that's only the first part of the theory. The second is, no matter how they're painted, they will still look good sitting right next to each other, because they are orcs. And no matter how different they are from one another, they are the one army that is uniquely suited to just be a little bit different model to model. So this week I asked 3 of my friends to paint an orc from this unit. They haven't received any prompting from me other than they're allowed to pretty much paint however they want. Dark or bright, clean, dirty, completely up to them. The question is, do they prove my theory about orcs, or am I just an orc knob who has had one too many coladas? Let's find out. Okay, so here are my orcs. Like I said, working man orcs. Although I had some top hats, so I wanted these to be a little bit fancy. These guys are meant to be dirty and torn up, but ready to go in a large army setting. Quick to paint, but they still look pretty nice. Nothing to complain about. I like to start with an undercoat of green. Since I actually primed these with green, we can then move on to the next step. Now it's time to come in with an airbrush to establish the skin tones on the soft spots of the skin. I like to go for the tops of shoulders, elbows, knuckles, that kind of thing. These are my go-to areas to play around with color. The green skin can stay, but blended with a bright pink skin tone just adds a nice pop of color. Alternatively, you can go red for maximum contrast against that green skin, or blue to get that really cold skin look. Any way you want, you can pretty much make it work. I base coated the pants and shirt a nice blue, and all of the leather a dark brown. The metallics get a dark metal base coat, and then the entire model gets a liberal coating of brown wash. Once the wash is dry, I like to layer over the model with the same base colors and then pick out some details using a shade brighter or the base coat mixed with a little bit of off-white. This will bring out the color once again and add the needed contrast to the model. This is usually where I stop for tabletop orcs, and I really like the look. Little pops of color that bring your attention to details and pretty varied skin tone helps sell these guys in my grimdark army. Now that we have that established, let's take a look at the other paint jobs. Will these fit into the army, or will the difference in painters break that immersion? First off, this already has a lot more color than my orcs. I really like the hat too. It makes a statement and it has a nice decal right on top. The gun is bringing in a lot of that color too, including making the sights kind of fluorescent. Like this orc needed a little bit of glow on to get that little boost in accuracy on his gun. I love it. He's gonna fit right in. This one also has a lot of color in it, which I really like. The top hat and leather are a completely different color than mine or the last one, and it really makes this guy stand out nicely. That black and red classic look is good on these orcs. My favorite part about this particular paint job are the details on the gun casing and the rocket. I've always liked that red casing on Warhammer weapons. It's a very classic way of painting for 40K and something that will always be in style. In particular, the checkerboard pattern on the rocket is my absolute favorite part. Checkerboard on Orks is also another classic staple and something that will pretty much always be awesome. This guy will also fit right in. This one is a little different as well. The skin is a little bit brighter, the fleshy bits are more pink, and the hat has a nice royal purple to it. This particular model also has the honor of being the only one with 3D printed parts, which I think truly makes this model one of a kind. Oh, and my wife painted it. This one is the best, hands down. It is, it's the best one. 4 different painters, 4 different ways to paint one unit, and they all look pretty good. The paints used range tremendously too, including Citadel paints in the contrast and regular variety, scale 75 and pro acryl. Honestly, for me, the essence of the Orks still remains. Once this unit is down on the table and ready to fight, it's going to be hard to argue that they belong together. Sure, they're all painted differently, but they look like a ragtag team of heavy weapon experts, carriers, orcs who shoot big guns, and they look awesome. And that's the point I'm trying to make. So far, my theory holds up. Orks are gonna be orks, and that's great for every unit in the army. Maybe someday I'll change my mind, but it is not this day. Thank you again for joining me on another miniature rescue. If you like something about this video, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe, as it really helps out the channel. Once again, I'm Casey, and I will see you in the next video.